we've got a duet today. Wow.
Good morning, good morning, morning star.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Easter, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
So glad that you're here. So good to see you. Thanks for making it out today on this Easter Sunday. Don't you love our duo? Right? I was thinking as you were playing, usually it's, Jeffrey's on the piano, you're on the whatever it is you do over there, all the things you do, Frank. But today it was just really quaint. It was really intimate. It feels perfect for today. I think it's meant to be. Yeah, beautiful. So, welcome again to Morning Star. Thank you for being here. My name's Amy Thurman. I'm going to be your facilitator today. And I want to start with just a short reflection to kind of transition us into getting into what we need to receive from today, from the message today. So, with it being Easter, resurrection is not a single morning. It's not one moment where everything suddenly changes. It's 1,000 quiet decisions to rise when it would be easier to stay buried. It's the courage to sit in the stillness long enough to hear what is true, and the willingness to become someone your past could not have imagined. Nothing is wasted, not the breaking, not the waiting, not the wandering. Even the parts of your story that felt heavy or confusing or unfinished, they were not detours, they were preparation. Because what feels like an ending is often something much quieter, much more sacred. The slow becoming of something entirely new. And maybe that's what brings us here today. Not to become someone new, but to see what's already been transforming within us. I want to say hi to the Zoomers. We have a little bit of a camera issue today, so
Hi, Zoomers.
our Zoomers are seeing us from a different angle today, but welcome. We're so glad that you're here. It is time for us, here, reading the names, I can't see them, but welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Happy Easter to you all. It's time for us to read the vision statement on the songbook and on the screen. Our Sunday gathering is designed to provide a weekly encouragement to individually manifest our highest good and purpose in our lives. Inner direction is the key. We reinforce positive directions for our lives and the infinite potential within us. We seek connections to create an open atmosphere of acceptance of all backgrounds, races, and lifestyles. We come together in a spirit of inclusiveness, embracing all spiritual paths, honoring God in an atmosphere of unconditional love. We are going to stand for our sing-along, which is Morning Has Broken on page 32. And then during our meet and greet after that, our speaker today, because she's on Zoom all the way in the UK, wants to have a piece of her here today. So I have, throw on my seat, Indian blanket seeds that she's going to use during her meditation. So while you're around mixing and mingling, meeting and greeting, stop by up here and get a packet of these seeds so that you'll have it during the meditation. Okay, stand. Page 32, morning has broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the sweet the rains clear fall, sun lit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, strong in completeness, where is the mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, breathing soft rain. Praise with devotion, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word.
Okay, we're taking a time out now on the meeting and greeting. Pause. We're pausing the meeting and greeting. We're pausing the meeting and greeting. If you did not get your Indian blanket flower seeds while I was out and about, be sure to come get those in my seat up here in the front. You'll need those for the meditation. So come grab a packet of those. And I want to make sure that we can focus because I think our band has something special for us today for the special song. We really want you to just sit and enjoy it, take it in, absorb as much as you can, and allow it to speak to you. So take it away, band.
Someday we'll roll away the stone that we've carried for so long, and all our burdens will be gone. I can't wait. We will find our way to an understanding of all views, and no prayer shall be refused. I can't wait. Seems we have gone too far, and now we don't know where we are. I believe we'll find a guiding star, but I can't wait. If faith is the final place where all fears have been erased and the locks have fallen from the gates, I can't wait. Someday we'll roll away the stone that we've carried for so long. All our burdens will be gone, and I can't wait. We will find our way to an understanding of all views. No prayers will be refused. I can't wait.
Thank you, band. What a perfect song for today. For the speaker and it being Easter, you guys always do that perfectly. Thank you. It is time for our chant, but before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. Siri, after the chant, you'll just pick up and do the meditation. She's at this camera. Siri, after the chant, where am I talking? I don't know. Siri, after the chant, then you'll just, Remy will highlight you and you'll pick up and do the meditation in your talk. So before the chant, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker, Siri. I do want you to, it's interesting, when I spoke at the University of Oxford, Siri was in the audience, and she approached me afterwards, and we became fast friends, and you're going to find out why when you hear her speak, for sure. Siri Lagerløv, she is an authentic confidence strategist and modern alchemist. She'll be sharing a unique Easter message with us today. We're going to learn how stones of past challenges can be rolled away and transmuted into the light of our future. Prepare yourselves to rise as the creator of your own life 2.0. All right, before that, our chant is We Are the People on page 64.
Satnam, 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 Vaheguru. We are the people of love. Let us, the people, love today. Satnam, 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 Vaheguru. We are the people of love. Let us, the people, love today. Satnam, 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 Vaheguru. We are the people of love. Let us, the people, love today. Satnam, 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 Satnam,
Let me just get the text sorted here. Can you all hear me? Yeah. I can hear myself in the background, so sure, that's good. Okay, good morning, Morning Star. It is such a profound joy and honor to be joining you from across the ocean. So even though my physical body is very close to London in England, I am very much there with you in spirit today and celebrating this season of rebirth. And I had to agree with Amy that the song was beautiful about the stone earlier, and I would like to thank Amy so much for helping out with the seeds, because it is a little way for me to be there closer to you today while we do this little journey together, I think we can call it. As Amy said, my name is Siri, and I am here today to speak in the capacity really of a modern alchemist. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about authentic confidence. I'm going to try to speak slowly because I know that since I also have a Norwegian accent, sometimes it can be a bit difficult to understand me. So I will try to do my best to make sure that everybody can do that. Actually, I don't know if this is going to work on the big screen, but I will turn captions on. I don't know if you can actually see that now. Anyway, before we move on, I would like to invite you to set a communal intention for this talk, similar to what Amy did in the beginning. And the intention I would like you to set for this talk is that you have an open mind and you're ready to receive whatever it is that you need to hear from me today. So you can say that to yourself out loudly, or you can say it silently in your mind. But if you say together with me, we'll do this twice to make sure that everybody gets it. I set the intention of having an open mind and be ready to receive what I need to hear today from Siri. I set the intention of having an open mind and be ready to receive what I need to hear today from Siri. Thank you. As I've already mentioned, my journey began in Norway, and I was raised with a deep reverence to the miracles beneath our feet. And I think this is where I'm going to start. I will share a slide with you just to let's go present them. We don't need that. That's the one. This is images that represent very important things to me, because long before I could read in Norway, when I was little, we didn't really start school until we were 7, and we certainly didn't really start to learn to read before then either. But I would trawl through my parents' books about the pyramids, the Sphinx, Stonehenge, the pyramids in Mexico, the mysterious landing paths, landing strips in Mexico. And through my life, I've spent a lot of time searching for the map of the human heart. So I've been studying everything from Druidry and Hermeticism to modern healing and coaching methodologies. But what I really discovered through all of this, I can stop screen sharing for a little bit. No, I don't need to. I'm going to change the slide in a minute. Sorry. What I discovered is that we are all part of sacred weave. So whether we are looking outwards towards the external landscape of ancient stone circles or the internal landscape that is in ourselves, and it covers also our own deep values, we are seeking the same thing. We are searching for a connection to a unifying energy. And this is the core of my work, and also a book I wrote that is called The Weave of Stone and Light. It is about finding authentic confidence, a stillness that allows us to lead ourselves through any storm. And with this, I'm going to change the slide. I won't be screen sharing the whole time. You can see me as well. Because it's not always fun to see just a little picture up in a corner. This is a slide called The Field. I use it in almost all of my presentations, because we often imagine ourselves, or we see ourselves as isolated landscape. We're coexisting, but we are still islands. But the thing is, as this field shows, if you have a look, I'm going to use my mouse to show this a little bit more. This can be you, and this is your personal field. This is your aura, or your energetic field that is closest level to you. And around that, we have another field that stretches, that's also ours, but we allow a few more people into it. It's those who are close to us, for instance, family, close friends, and it's also part of our field because we allow them to interact with our field. And if you can see, I'll put me, the coach, or anybody else really, we all have our personal fields, and we all have this extended field with friends and family. And we have an unlimited field that can be called the superconscious or universal field, can also be called the higher self, where we are all connected. As you can see here, there are kind of limits. It's a border, my personal field is limited, and it's not everything that gets through. inside there is only what I allow. But we can see that this field touches into this field. But this field, again, that includes those around us, is also connected to the field of the other people's fields. And this is important. Okay, I always find it difficult because this is, and it's infinite, the universal field. It has no limits, which is difficult to really show in a picture, which is how it became this bubble. I think it looks like a smiley face. So every time I see it, I smile as well, and I really hope you do too. So how do we navigate this ocean, this shared energetic field? You see, this isn't just, we need to understand the levels of consciousness for this, the layers of the weave that makes us who we are and what we, who we are, what we are made of on the non-physical way. So it's not just theory for me, it's practical. It's the foundation of, for instance, the Refuge Ready protocol that I developed to help those fleeing domestic violence, to help them find safety in a safe way, mentally, psychologically, to start their life 2.0 or the new life. Because before we can reach for the light, we need to be sure of our ground. So we can think of it like this. Normally, I would start explaining this from the bottom, but today I'm starting here at the middle, the unconscious. And this is because the rest of my talk, most of it, is working a lot around this. I'm going to use a lot of metaphors. I've knitted together loads of metaphors that are flowing beautifully together in a perfect weave, I think, at least. So the unconscious we can see, if there are any gardeners in the room, as a deep soil. It holds our roots, our childhood patterns, and the stone of our past experiences. It is where our habits live. It's limited. It only operates from what it has been taught, what it has learned from experience. And the window for learning is the formative years, which is usually up until maximum 7, sometimes 11, but usually 3 to 5, 7. So it has one goal, and that is survival. And what motivates us is emotions. And it creates emotions in our bodies. It creates responses. And is governed by stories and metaphors. As I already said, this is what we are working with today. But to be able to make any change or to understand how we work, we also need to know the other 2 levels of our consciousness. So the conscious or self-conscious or ego, as it's also called, you can see also these all have different names depending on who you speak with. The self-conscious can be ego, id, and unconscious. Many people call it the subconscious. I call it unconscious because we are usually not aware of how it works. It's what keeps the body alive. It's what makes us breathe, swallow, blink, and all those things that are automated. And we don't do this consciously. It's unconscious. But I don't call it subconscious because it's not less important than any of the other levels. So the self-conscious is our thinking mind. It is the part of our minds that make decisions. And it's based on duality. You can see the symbol here in the middle. Good, bad, hot, cold, black, white. It is the surface of what we see. It's the you that is listening to me right now. It is the part of us that sets intentions and makes choices. And to make these choices is what is so important. And then we have the superconscious or the higher self or the God element. There are discussions whether people feel like their soul sits in in unconscious or the superconscious. I'm not going to go into that now. So the superconscious is kind of like the sunlight. It's your higher self. It's the part of you that is already transmuted in an alchemical way. It's infinite. It's based of information. It's neutral. Whatever you tell it to do, it will do. My mentor always used to say that it's like a very obedient dog. So a retriever, for instance, you throw it a bone or a stick and it will run to get it and bring it back to you. It always says yes, which is why it's so important that what we send up through the levels here is what is going to be useful for us and work to the advantage of our grown-up and adult self. So the reason why I'm here and the reason why my superconscious is speaking to your superconscious today is because we are working together to reweave some of the patterns in that deep unconscious soil. And when we talk about resurrection or life to own, we are talking about an alchemical shift. We are using the light of the superconscious to reach down into the root of the unconscious, untangling and treat the old childhood patterns that no longer serve us, and we replace them with authentic confidence, as I call it. So today isn't just a talk, it's a shared session in this field. So I'm just going to stop the shelf a little bit. Yeah. So we are setting a new blueprint for our spring, where we are ensuring that the stone of our past becomes the foundation for your future. Actually, that was a bit quick. Start screen sharing again. Oh, you have to bear with me. There. So being a Norwegian, being invited here to talk to you, me thinking that, oh, I got Viking heritage, right? I have to do a little research. Is there anything in common here? And what did I find? Lo and behold, I found the Heaven and Runestone. So whether this is an ancient relic or a modern invention, it's a symbolism here. And the inscription on this runestone that I'm sure you all have heard of is Gnomedal, which means gnome dale. The home valley of the gnomes, if you're gonna translate it. And it's a mix of old and new runes as well. So that really is also a discussion for another time. Recognize, or what I'd like you to recognize, is that whoever it was carved this into stone. And the Vikings did that. They carved into stone many places they went to. And what is important about that is that they said, I was here. And do you know what? More importantly, what they said was, I made it through the storm. I found my way through. And today, we are all navigators, whether you are finding your own path or whether you are helping others. If you are leading others by being a lighthouse to guide others home. We are still seeking the same thing. We are seeking the light. So now we will start to talk metaphorically, okay? Which is entertaining, I think. A lot of my work is around metaphors and stories, and I find it fascinating. We will begin with our first metaphors. Well, probably not the first, but now we are working on it consciously, right? So we're going to be looking at the stone. And before we can speak of the light, we have to talk about the stone, because this is what brings us further. So the stone, as we call it in alchemy, would be the foundation. As I found, or part of the work with Refuge Ready, is also something that became a lot clearer to me through that work. And it is that the fundamental truth of that is that physical safety is the solid, heavy foundation for any healing. Because we cannot weave a beautiful tapestry if the loom is broken. And we are also using metaphors now so that we can engage all of the different levels of your consciousness while we work this. Because when all the levels of consciousness can work together, the result is much stronger and it's aligned. So if we think of the darkness, the stone, as the weight that holds us steady as a foundation, and in our lives we face storms, trials that feel like a relentless push. But as any gardener knows, that the wind of a mountaintop is what makes a young tree grow really strong roots. So it finds its way through the cracks into the mountain, into the rock. And those storms are what makes these roots go stronger. Not only are they spreading, but they are getting stronger. We ensure that the ground beneath our feet is solid and secure, because only when we can be truly safe can we begin the alchemical work of moving from lost to authentically confident. And before the light, there is always the darkness. And we see this in the Easter story. I'm also going to bring up resurrection. That was mentioned earlier today. We're talking a lot about that metaphorically. So thank you for that lovely introduction earlier in so many ways. In the Easter story, we see Holy Saturday, we see Good Friday, and we see the silence of the tomb. In nature, we see this as winter. And we have all had these winter of the soul moments, phases where we feel detached and perhaps a bit empty. And sometimes it feels like walking through heavy, wet clay. It's slippery and it's really difficult to keep your balance. But I realized something else that's vital, that winter is not a void. It's a state of active dormancy. Let's think, another slide coming up. If you think of the snowdrop or the narcissus, before they can show their bright faces to the sun, they must build their endurance in the dark. These are bulbs and perennials. It should be at least 2 inches below the surface, right? And they have been there all along, holding their ground. And underneath, during the winter, the cold Oklahoma soil, it looks like it's warmer than now. We're getting a little bit warmer weather here now as well, which is very nice. But beneath this cold soil, their root systems are gathering energy and stabilizing for the surge of spring. If you feel buried by the world right now, I invite you to reframe that, because you're not being buried. You are overwintering. You are protecting your core, strengthening your roots, and preparing to break through as something more, and something more robust than you were last season, before the most recent storm in your life. You aren't starting over, you are growing again. And how do we navigate in these wintry winds? We drop our inner anchor. And that is about finding a place of stillness and peace. And it's not about detaching yourself or becoming detached to the world. It's about being the master of your own ship while the storm howls. It's about dropping your inner anchor and connecting with that stillness that we find inside. The Romans called this soul Invictus, the unconquered sun. They celebrated the winter solstice not as the end of the light, but as the moment the sun proves its invincibility, because they believed that even in the shortest, darkest days, the sun cannot be extinguished. It can only be obscured like a passing cloud in front of it. This is the essence of authentic confidence as well, knowing that the light is still there, even if you cannot see it. The great Dalai Lama, grounded in Buddhism, calls this mental immunity. And we can build our mental immunity and our mental health as we can build and strengthen our physical health. The metaphor he uses to explain this is one of my all-time favorites, because the first time I heard about it, I was in hospital, I was in great pain, and I was reading his book about happiness, and I read this story. This is it. So if you look at the storm, the ocean, imagine there's a horrible storm and the surface is wild. You have huge waves and it's impossible to steer any ship anywhere. It's dangerous. And you just have to ride with the storm, but it's really, really uncomfortable. So these huge waves, they represent resistance and challenges. And that could be like a chaotic time in your life, or it could be difficulties, it could be difficult news that you just received. But as you move your attention to the depths of the sea, the waters become gradually more peaceful. At the deepest depth, there is a peace and quiet. The water seems almost still, and this is the sensation that we feel when our inner anchor is set. This is the place that is our foundation when we have set our inner anchor. It can be stormy on the surface, but it doesn't mean to say that that will blow you off course, because you are anchored in the knowledge and the confidence of the deep peace inside. And when we can keep a clear communication line with that connection to our inner peace, to the depth of our core being, to our inner values, and we are aware of these, we can, for instance, better withstand depression and stress. Many ancient paths and languages did not have a separate word for spirit and breath or wind. In my Celtic heritage, living in the UK and always been an Anglophile, I would like to think that there is some of that. At least I'm using it as an example here. We have a deep understanding of this. And there is a Celtic word called anam. It is the word that weaves together the spirit and the breath, and it means soul friend. It is the same wind that tests these mountain trees, and it's the same breath that sustains us in our quietest moments. And when you feel the wind blowing across the Oklahoma plains, then please remember that this is Anam, the very breath that refuses to be still. It is the very breath of life. Resurrection is a universal pulse. In ancient Egypt, we see it in Osiris. After he was broken, it was the power of love and compassion and devotion that reassembled him. He became the lord of the underworld, but not as a victim of death, but as a master of the cycle of growth. He is the grain that must die to be reborn, the ultimate perennial. And also, you can think about the controlled burning of the grasses of the plains in Oklahoma that are necessary for new growth to happen, because that's how nature naturally would do it. In the Celtic tradition regarding this, we have the cauldron of rebirth. And this wasn't just a vessel of magic. It was a symbol of protection and purification. And to enter this cauldron is to go into the winter of the soul, and to be refined by the experience, and to emerge with new wisdom and a soul made clean. In the Sufi tradition, the mystical path of Islam, there is a beautiful saying from the poet Rumi, the wound is the place where the light enters you. The light enters through the cracks of your wounds. The Sufis, they speak of the heart as a mirror. Amy would like this one. Of a mirror that has become covered by the stone of our worldly rust, the trials that we face, the storms and the holy Saturday moments. They are all abrasive polish. They aren't there to break the mirror, but to polish it. It can reflect the golden light of the soul once more. And to the Sufis, the winter is simply a time where the beloved is planting secrets in the garden of our heart. So in the Sufi tradition, we learn that the trials are the polish for the heart's mirror. And this is echoed in the beautiful Japanese art of kintsugi. You may have heard of that, you may not. I'm going to show a slide here. Shall we try this again? Kintsugi. When a precious piece of pottery in ancient traditions in Japan, when it was shattered, the master craftsman, man or men, he wouldn't just throw the pieces away. Nor did they try to hide the cracks with invisible glue. What they did instead was that they repair the vessel, the bowl, the jug, what it was, using lacquer mixed with powdered gold or something else that will make it shine. And the philosophy of kintsugi teaches us that the breakages and the repairs are not things to be ashamed of. They are a vital part of the object's history. And also these beautiful golden cracks that make it more beautiful, more resilient even, and more valuable than it was when it was perfect. Like that pottery, our winter moment, or your holy Saturdays in the darkness, they have not broken you. They have provided the cracks where your golden light can now shine through. You are not a victim of your history. You are a masterpiece of restoration, which leads to resurrection of the soul, of course. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof of your endurance. And here, in the great circle of the tribes who have long called this land of Oklahoma for home, we see the understanding of this hoop of life. There is no beginning, there is no end, only the turning of the seasons. I actually have a sand painting. If I had thought about it early enough, I would have brought it to show you, depicting just this. And this circle teaches us that Easter Saturday and the darkness and despair is necessary for Easter Sunday or the rest of the soul to exist. The message is always the same. Life is stubborn and the spirit lingers. We take the leaden heavy moments of our past, the stone again, of our insecurities, of our trials. And through this inner stillness, we begin the alchemical work of transmuting them into gold, especially our souls. We move our minds. We move from the lost state into the light of conscious creation, of awareness, where we can make informed choices. And Amy has been very kind today, and all the other helpers, to give you some seeds. I will now invite you to join me for a little meditation. And I would like you, I don't know if you got a single seed or if you got a package, but I would invite you to put a seed in your hand. I'm very close to this cup today. In your hand, and maybe close your hand, and just feel the weight of it, and notice what it's like. Is it maybe rough? Is it a little bit prickly perhaps because of little hairs on it? And when you're ready, I'm going to take the pictures away here, or I can keep it up. There. And this is, I would like you to hold it in your hand through the meditation. And thank you again, Amy, for your help with this. Okay. So I invite you to now close your eyes and let your breath settle, holding that seed in your hand. In your hand is the Indian blanket, the Gaillardia, your state wildflower. Feel its edges. It feels small, perhaps even a bit rough. In the language of the plains, this seed is a symbol of endurance. It survives the harshest droughts, and like you, it has been overwintering. And with your eyes closed, I want you to connect with your Ranam, your spirit breath. It's easy. Take a breath in, and as you inhale, feel that spirit wind filling your lungs and the connection you get. As you breathe in, Anam peace. Notice that when you breathe out tension. And with every inhale, you breathe in Anam peace. And with every exhale, you breathe out stress. With every inhale or breath in, you breathe in Anam, the spirit wind, your spirit friend or soul friend. And as you breathe out next time, I want you to imagine that you are dropping your inner anchor. Feel the anchor sink slowly and gently, like a heavy feather, through the ether until it settles deep into the Oklahoma earth, grounding you to your homeland. And with every breath, feel the seed of the Indian blanket stirring within you. Think of it as your sacred weave. Every winter you have endured is a thread of deep red or earthy brown in your blanket. And today we are weaving in the golden thread of joy. Breathe. Anam, breath of spirit. Breathe deeply and feel this joy. Every time you breathe in, fill your lungs with air that is infused with this joy. Notice this is not just a light, it is an embrace. Imagine the vibrant red and the rays of gold from the Indian blanket flower wrapping around you. Feel that deep, sacred red enclosing you in a comforting, thick blanket of protection. This is a heavy, warm embrace that reteaches you your own loveliness. Feel the golden, happy petals of the Gaillardia unfolding in your heart. You are the architect of your spring. You are the morning star. Take a deep breath and accept this as your truth. Take another deep breath and allow yourself to feel the love flowing and expanding from your inner core to your conscious awareness. Take a third deep breath and allow yourself to feel the love flowing from your inner core to your conscious awareness. And sit with this awareness for a little bit. Give yourself the permission to experience this, to feel this love flowing from your soul seat to your conscious awareness. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back to the room. You can wiggle your toes and shake your hands side to side and up and down to help you come back grounded. And I want you to carry this internal seed of joy and strength with you. And remember, your anchor is set and your bloom is inevitable. And I would like you to invite you to plant that seed or those seeds. And every time you see these little seedlings grow and the plants grow, I want you to notice the feeling of that joy and resurrection and clarity in your mind. And with this, I say thank you for your attention and for inviting me to come here today. And I will invite Amy back.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Siri. Life is indeed stubborn. I can attest to that. I'm sure we all can. But I love the reminder that winter and the dark times are purposeful and they're productive. It's just nothing happening. It's productive. So thank you so much for that. Okay, this is our time to give back to Morning Star. We are so grateful that we get to come here and we get to see each other and we get the value that we gain by coming here. But we need help with that. We can't just do that by ourselves. So there are many ways that you can help us in volunteering. They're monetary. The ladies are going to pass the baskets around if you feel guided to help in that way. And let's do our offering prayer on the screen or on the back of the songbook. Where is it? Recognizing God as the source of my supply, I joyously give of God's abundance, which is blessed and multiplied through me, and so it is.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright, there's a sunny side too. And though we meet in the darkness of strife, the sunny side we also may view. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. Help us every day, it will brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side of life. Though the storm in its fury broke today, hushing hope that we cherish so dear, clouds and storms will in time pass away. The sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side of life. Let us greet with song of hope each day. Though the moment be cloudy or fair, let us trust in our Savior always, who'll keep us everyone in His care. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side of life. If we keep on the sunny side of life.
Thank you, band. Frank and Ken today. Thank you. Yeah. We love you guys. The duo, right? Thank you, Remy, for handling our tech. I'm like, Remy came up with, is this your personal phone? Remy? Yep. See, the camera went out. Remy was like, I got this. My personal phone, right? He's making it work. Thank you, Remy. Great job. Setup team, Yoha, Mike, Karen, all of you that set up. Gray, thank you so much, always. The finance committee, Karen and Mary, thank you for all that you do. The board, and again, for Siri being our speaker today. So good, thank you. Next week will be our book swap. It's usually this week, but since it's Easter, we decided to do it next week. So the book swap, if you have books to bring them next week, and they will be out there for you to grab and give. There's also a board meeting next week at 1 o'clock on Zoom next week. Anything else? Mike?
Can I say something about James?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we've been, doing a reminder, and Remy's going to put the graphic up. This Saturday is Jan Blakely's memorial service right here, and if I could, I probably need about 2 to 3 people to help. Probably about 1 o'clock on Saturday, we'll open up and set up the services from 2 to 4, I think is what we reserved. So if anyone can help me out, that'd be great. Just see me after the service. So this Saturday, about 1 o'clock, I'll need your help. The service is 2 o'clock. And yeah, it might last until 4, but probably closer to 3. Anyhow, that's all. Thank you. And
Thank you, Mike.
you can come if you want. You don't just have to come and help. The rest of you that want to honor Jan, show up at 2 o'clock for the memorial service. I think it's going to consist mostly of people telling stories and things like that. It's not going to be super formal. So.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for handling all that. Do the people who are willing to help, do they need to tell you? Okay. If you're willing to help, I'm just going to say, if you're willing to help, let Mike know. Next week's speaker is Lauren Walthall. Walthall? Well, we'll go with it. The Miracle and the Journey of a Poetic Writer. Lauren was born in Norman, Oklahoma, received her BA in Letters from the University of Oklahoma and a Master's in Public Administration from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Her spiritual journey has been full of interesting twists and turns, which she has processed and captured in various writing projects, including a children's book, a book of poetry, a book of short stories, and Patterns of Saturn, a mid-cycle memoir. She's currently working on the first in a trilogy about her ancestors who were missionaries to the Western Cherokee. Lauren currently lives on the southern edge of the Texas Hill Country in what might be described as a forest, where she recently retired from raising Corsican sheep, some kind of sheep. At Morning Star, Lauren will share some of the spiritual lessons she has learned in life. Forgive, let go. It will be a treat to see how she weaves some of these themes throughout her poetry, in her short story, The Miracle, and in her book, Patterns of Saturn. Yeah, we always have great speakers. Good. And she'll be in person. Thank you, Cecilia. Okay, she'll be here in person. Okay, so it's time for our prayer for protection on the screen or on the songbook, and then we will circle up for the peace song, and those words will also be on the screen. Surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and so it is.